Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 94 of Screw the Commute podcast. Today I'm going to talk about on-demand TV, and you can be your own TV producer. I'm going to tell you about how to do that in this episode. Now, the last episode was 93, Ty Brown, and he's running a high-touch dog training business remotely. He's 2,000 miles away, and it's one of the biggest dog training businesses in the country. And he truly created a lifestyle business for himself. Now, our podcast app is in the iTunes store, and you can also go to screwthecommute.com/app, that's APP, where we have complete instructions to show you how to use all the fancy features so you can take us with you on the road, and you put it on your cell phone and your tablet. Our youth program is in full swing. We're looking for young people that are doing entrepreneurial things. And when I say young, I'm talking about maybe up to the early 20s. If they're older than that, they might be a candidate for our regular podcast. So if you know anyone, they can get in touch with me at orders@antion.com to see how to apply to be featured on an episode of Screw the Commute Special Youth Edition. Our on-demand TV channel on Roku TV is up. The first channel is the public speaking channel. We have several others coming: Brutal Self-Defense, Protection Dogs Elite, and various internet marketing channels. Now, if you have a Roku device, it's a really good deal. You can get thousands of channels, and you can hook up your Netflix and other favorite channels through the same device. And I've got about $100,000 worth of free training on the channel. So we'll also be on Amazon Fire pretty soon, but you can check out on Roku right away at the public speaking channel. Now, our sponsor today is the Screw the Commute private Facebook group, where you can interact with me, my staff, and with other great entrepreneurs and like-minded people. And it's a place where my staff and I put in training and business tips several times a week. And you can ask questions and get feedback on things that you're doing. I'll tell you more about that later, but you can check it out at screwthecommute.com/Facebook. And of course, all the things we mentioned will be in our very extensive show notes. I mean, you really should visit those, because we have complete transcripts of all our shows and all the links and everything, and sometimes extra pictures and things like that. So check it out. Each episode is numbered, so you can go to screwthecommute.com/94 to visit the show notes for this episode. So that's the way we roll on our numbering system. All right, let's get to the main event, on-demand TV. Now, normally, I talk about things that are proven to have made or saved me tons of money. This episode is different in that, and I always say I'm on the dull edge of technology. In other words, I don't jump on bandwagons of unproven stuff. I usually wait until all the bugs are out of things and people have figured out how to make money with whatever it was. Now, in this case, I slid a little bit on this concept because, the geeks have made it relatively easy and super cheap to try out getting featured on on-demand TV. So I really couldn't help myself but get involved. So what's this all about? Well, on-demand TV's taken off like crazy because people like the fact they can watch their favorite shows anytime they want, rather than being forced to be in front of the TV at a certain time on a certain day. And also, there wasn't really an easy way to watch an episode of a show you missed. I mean, you might see pieces of it on YouTube, but it just wasn't the same. So in come places like Roku TV. That's ROKU.com. Or Roku TV. Roku, I'm not sure. Now, for about $40, you can buy a Roku box and hook it up to your smart TV and get access to thousands of shows through your Wi-Fi connection. You can even buy a Roku-enabled TV, so you don't even have to buy an extra box to plug in. I mean, you can put in all your favorite places like Netflix and Hulu, Amazon Prime, and all those places. And speaking of Amazon, alternatively, or maybe in addition to your Roku box, you could get an Amazon Fire Stick and plug it into another HDMI port on your smart TV. Both Amazon and Roku are drop dead easy to install, and you just need your password to your Wi-Fi connection and your password to your Amazon Prime account if you want to put it in there, or your Netflix account. You can hook them all in there in one place. So what does this mean to you? Well, with a little bit of geek help, you can put video content on Roku and Amazon Fire. And I say geek help in that there are a few small technical hurdles, but nothing insurmountable. And then you just concentrate on getting your video content on those platforms. And just like I've harped on for years, and in episode 1 of this podcast, keywords are critical to being found when people search for your topic. And you get a big boost on Roku when your channel gets approved because they put you in their new channel section. Now, with my hated topic of public speaking, right? Nobody likes public speaking. I got 1,200 people installing my channel in the first week. I mean, that blows away YouTube. I mean, it would take a long time to get 1,200 subscribers on YouTube for free, for sure. Most popular topics from people I know on Roku are getting 2,000 or 3,000 people in the first week subscribing to their channel. And by the way, subscribing on Roku is called installing the channel. Anyway, if you have or get Roku, please install my channel. It's called The Public Speaking Channel. And see, I used keywords in the title of the show. And then please give it a star rating. Now, I had trouble figuring out how to give a star rating, so let me tell you about that. You hit the asterisk key on your remote when my channel thumbnail is highlighted on the TV screen. Then you can leave a star rating or remove a channel and do other things. So, and the remote on Roku is cool because it has a headphone jack on it. That's a pretty handy and cool feature. Now, I've got other channels in development on brutal self-defense, Protection Dogs Elite, and various internet marketing topics. So why should you do this? Well, one reason is a large exposure to your products and services. I mean, you have to be careful that you don't blatantly advertise your stuff on Roku. You must give content or you won't get your channel approved. I feel this is going to be one of my biggest revenue generators. I mean, just buying as little as my Wake 'em Up ebook will get me $20. My Pro Speaking ebook gets $27. My fundraiser course gets $97. My Pro Speaker system gets between $697 and $997, and my full speaker mentor program can go in excess of $13,000 if you get all the room sales training and all that other stuff. So do I care that I don't get as many installs as the yoga channel? All right. No, not a bit. See, I have back-end products galore on my topic. And it's the same with my upcoming Protection Dog channel, with Protection Dogs starting at $20,000 and going up to $60,000. Throwing up some of the video training we do anyway seems a small price to pay. And of course, my internet marketing stuff can get me thousands of dollars in entry fees to my mentor program and up to $50,000 in commissions per person that joins. So I'm all over this new medium it's not saturated like YouTube. All right, so how else do you make money? Well, you can sign up with advertising agencies that sell ads on your behalf and split the money with you. And I expect some money to come in from this, but nothing compared to my back-end sales. Now, you can also get people and companies to sponsor your channel in exchange for putting their ads in your videos and or letting them put an entire video on your channel. So how do you do it? Well, unless you're a super geek, you must buy a piece of software that's got to be installed on one of your websites. I mean, it's super easy for a geek, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's better to pay somebody $20 to do it and show you how to access it. I mean, the software company has all kinds of training videos to show you how to use it. And the software I happen to use is called TV Boss. It cost me only $42, okay, for unlimited channels that I can put up. I mean, I think it's like $30 for one channel. I would call it pretty cheap software, and it has a few quirks, but overall, it got the job done, and my first channel is chugging right along. Now, let me tell you about some format and length and ad revenue kind of stuff. That's all kind of rolled together. You pretty much want to use HD or high definition footage, but I had a lot of SD or standard definition, and you can also call that older footage. So we did a video procedure called upscaling. Basically, it's editing, which put the old footage into the HD format. But it put black bars down the sides because HD footage is widescreen and SD footage is more square. And most of the original footage was shot with a pretty good camera, enough that even when upscaled, it still looked good enough to put it on a big TV. So I was able to use a lot of stuff, even from the 90s, that was really good quality training material and get it up there on my channel. All right, let me talk about the 7-minute rule. If you want to get advertising revenue, you must have videos, or sometimes called episodes, of at least 7 minutes in length. If you have shorter clips, you got to edit them together so they exceed 7 minutes or no ads will show. I mean, you can put shorter videos, but they require that the shows be at least 7 minutes long, or you won't make any ad revenue. And keep in mind, for this discussion, I'm talking about Roku TV. I had a bunch of short public speaking tips, so I organized them by topic and put several together on a particular topic to exceed 7 minutes, and then I put them up on my channel. The reason I mentioned I'm talking about Roku is because I haven't done Amazon Fire yet, and some of the details might be different, so I'll do a separate episode on that after I tackle Amazon Fire. Also, here's another little quirk. No ads show to a particular person visiting your channel until they watch at least 15 minutes of your channel. And that 15 minutes doesn't have to be at one time. People could watch 3 of your 7-minute shows on 3 different days, and then they might start seeing ads. Now, the reason I emphasize the word might is because just because your channel is now eligible to show ads to that person, it doesn't mean enough advertisers have bought space on your channel. See, unless your channel gets popular, the ad agency you deal with may not be able to sell all the space available on your channel. And I'm more interested in people buying my products and bringing me in to speak. So I'm not too worried about ad revenue, but that might be your only chance of making money. So that's why I brought it up. Now, if your episodes are much longer, for instance, some of my full programs are an hour and 45 minutes. And some of my webinars are more than 2 hours long. This means that every 7 minutes an ad might show, or it might not, like I said, if they didn't sell enough ads for that channel. Now, you can simply use Roku as your ad agency, or outside firms are allowed to access 70% of your ad inventory. Roku reserves 30% of your available ad space for themselves. And I happen to use Barron's Media, and I don't know if they're the best or not, but they were easy to deal with, and I can quit my agreement with them with proper notice, so no big deal. All right, let's talk about branding now. Okay, many of you have heard me rag on branding and say that most people brand themselves into the poorhouse. Well, that's not what I'm talking about here. The term they use for the various graphics you need for your TV channel is branding. Basically, it's just the pictures of certain sizes for different parts of your channel. You have to have a channel thumbnail, which is pretty much a square kind of graphic where you get lumped in with Netflix and Hulu and what other apps you see on your smart TV. Then you need a splash screen, which is what the person sees as your channel is loading. It typically has your channel name on it, And a tip I learned was to put the word loading with 3 dots or an ellipsis after the word loading. This keeps people waiting instead of leaving if their Wi-Fi isn't too fast. Then you have a background screen, which sits behind all your episodes. And it can be the same picture as the splash screen minus the wording. Then you have episode thumbnails, which are still shots taken from each of your videos. And you need a couple smaller graphics too. And none of this is too hard to come up with. And you could get stock photos or just use your cell phone and a free photo editor like iPicky.com, like IPICCY.com to make these graphics. They just have to be the certain size that Roku tells you. So that takes care of your branding. Now, some things you have to know about your video. You need to know the total length in seconds. So if your video is 8 minutes and 10 seconds long, you'd multiply 8 times 60, and that's for 60 seconds in a minute, and then add 10 seconds. So the total would be 490 seconds. 8 times 60 plus 10 for 4 minutes, or 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, you need to know the total bit rate of your video. On a PC, you right-click on the video file and then click on Properties, and then click on Details and read the total bit rate and write it down. You don't have to know what all these things mean. You just have to know the numbers. And there's several bit rates, and you want to make sure you get the one that says total. All right, hosting. So where do you put the videos? Most everyone says you should get a Vimeo Pro account because they're very generous on the amount of bandwidth you use for about $200 a year. Even the very cheap Amazon S3 can get pricey if your channel really takes off with lots of hours of video served. So some of the people on the forums didn't do Vimeo, and they got bills for over $1,000 for 1 month. So watch out for that. You also have to host the thumbnails of each episode. And your geek that installed your software can show you how to get the thumbnails up on your hosting account, and you'll need the link to them to put in your TV Boss software. All right, so let's go over some of the things you have to have ready and handy to upload one of your videos to Roku. And I made myself a little spreadsheet so that I can have all the stuff I needed when I open up the software and just plug in, copy, and paste the details. All right, and before you do all that, you need to get a Roku developers account. You basically visit Roku.com and get a login. It doesn't cost anything. But for each video, here's what you need. The date you upload it, the title, a short description, the genre, and mine are educational, and some of mine on how to use humor are educational and comedy. The length in seconds, like I told you earlier, and so you just multiply the number of minutes by 60 seconds and then add the leftover seconds. The total bit rate, the link to the video, that would be from your Vimeo or wherever it's hosted, and the link to the thumbnail for the video. Again, wherever you have hosted those graphics. Tags are like keywords and end up as categories on your channel. For instance, I have the following categories so far. Most popular and recently added. They're standard and just given to you. I added speaking tips, how to be funny, speaking for money, complete presentations, and magic for speakers. Now, there are plenty of other little details you can only learn once you get into it and watch the video training provided by the TV Boss people. And they also sell complete hosting and installation, but I prefer to be in control of my own stuff, so I haven't used theirs. All right, when you plug all this stuff into your TV Boss software, or someone else may have invented some other software by the time you hear this, the software kicks out what is called a JSON file. It's JSON file, and a JSON feed URL. Now, you don't have to know what this stuff does. You just have to copy the feed URL and paste it over into Roku TV account and then hit save. and you've got to refresh some stuff a couple times, and then boom, your video is up on TV. And one thing you want to do for sure is copy this crazy looking JSON file and paste it into a document somewhere and back it up, because it's a major pain to recreate it if someone crashes or if something crashes and you lose it. Okay, so this podcast isn't comprehensive training on on-demand TV, but I gave you plenty enough here to get started. And there are two very helpful Facebook groups I belong to. One is TV Boss Movers and Shakers, and the other is Catch the Fire. Both cover Roku and Amazon Fire, and the people in these groups are very, very helpful. So that's it, and I'm not sure if it will be up by the time you listen to this, but I'll be making a website, tomantiontv.com, that will have listings for all my shows on both Roku and Amazon Fire. So keep an eye out for that. All right, so next episode is 95 with Orrin Hudson. This guy is a former state trooper who teaches kids the game of life through the game of chess. And he's beaten as many as 59 people at once while playing chess. So make sure you check out that episode. And please subscribe and review over at iTunes, and check out our podcast app at screwthecommute.com/app, and all the details and the transcript of this, in case you want to grab it to get all those details I mentioned in this episode. You can do screwthecommute.com/94. This is episode 94. All right, I'll catch y'all on the next episode.